Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Zakia Ringgold.
And I'm Paige.
And this is Paige. And I figured a good way to get started again with live streaming is to start at the beginning. It looks like my mic is way too loud, so let's bring that down. Hopefully it's not too loud for all of you, but my name is Zakia Ringgold.
And I'm Paige.
And this is Paige. She actually started live streaming with me when she was about yay high, way far under the table. Now she's right next to me at the table. She's in the back making some kind of a potion. Maybe she'll tell us about it later. But I figured a really good way to get back into the habit of live streaming was to start at the beginning with a question I get all the time. What does it take to make soap? We also have Tiff here saying, hey, Spesh and little Spesh, how are you? Good to see you. I know it's much warmer there. It feels like it's about 40-ish degrees. I'm exaggerating. It's really not that cold, but it feels like it sometimes. So what I'm going to do is go over like some of the basics of what it takes to make your own soap at home. There is a person that I have in South Carolina that wants to take a class, and I told her, you got most of the stuff that you need at home, so let's kind of talk about what those things are and then what additional you would need in order to get started. I started making soap in 2015. It turned 16. I started publishing books on it in 2018. The live soap school came about in 2019. And I have parlayed all of that I have learned from soap making and live streaming and technology into all of the other technical businesses that I have. But soap making does remain like front and center in what it is that I do. It's 63. Feels like you're rubbing it in there, Spesh, because I feel like it's that feels like summertime to me. Hearing 63 definitely feels like summertime. So, Drea, hello, Drea.
You're so amazing.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Drea, good to see you. All right, so, I realized that it was like 10 after when I said we would actually get started. So I said, let me just click the button and then I'm just going to make it do what it do once we get started. So the first thing, Paige, never mind, I'm going to grab it because you can't. The first thing that you need is to understand the soap making process. Like, what is it that you're attempting to do?
One of your friends said it's raining in Vegas.
In Vegas? That's Drea. There's an S on the end. It's raining in Vegas. Oh, I'll take the rain if it's warm, Drea. So the first thing is really understanding what that soap making process is. And the process of making soap is known as saponification. So that's taking the oils and the butters and mixing it with a lye solution to create soap. Now that's a really, really truncated version of it. I recommend, of course, Google University, YouTube University. Live Soap School is a university. And then I also have all 4 of my books that I wrote to help you in getting started. All of my books are available on Amazon. You can just search for my name and they will come up and they're shipped out. A little birdie told me that Amazon actually put this book on sale for $6.99. It's never been that low. So if you want to get it, that's the new vegan soap cookbook. Go and get it on Amazon. Hello, Laura. Hi there. And then Drea saying hi and all that other stuff. So you want to start out before you start mixing stuff in your bowl because you saw it. Here, you can do that part, Paige. If you want to add somebody's comment, you just click on it right there. And then it'll come up on the screen. I would start because I think I spent the first 5 or 6 months before I made my batch of soap. I spent that time actually learning the process. Like, why am I adding these particular oils or butters? And it's more than just the mechanical process of mixing it with your stick blender. It's understanding why you're choosing the particular ingredients that you're putting in the soap. Okay? So that's the first thing. You have got to understand the soap making process and all of those ingredients. But then what does Cynthia say? Oh, wow, Paige got really big. Yes, yes. Hi, everyone. It's Paige. Did you type that in there? Paige. All right, I'm going to not pay attention. If there's something that I got to read over there, you just let me know. Hi, Sia.
It says hello and oh wow, Paige got so big.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. So, after you learn what it is, then you're going to want to start gathering your equipment and your ingredients. And here is where I would say the biggest mistake that I made was I started buying every mold, every fragrance, every color, every butter, every oil that somebody mentioned because one day I was probably going to make it. I wasted a lot of money. I wasted a lot of time. So I say start with what you have, then go over to your like a Goodwill, a thrift shop. Hey, Asherelle, how are you? She's saying, hey, niece. Paige is helping out. So I'm just going to let her tell me what's going on so I can pay attention and this doesn't turn into too long of a broadcast. So you want to not spend so much money on all of these like exotic molds and equipment without knowing if it's something that you're going to stick with. So this bowl is still a tried and true bowl, one of the first bowls that I got from the dollar store, $1.25. This will hold up to 4 pounds of soap. And when you're just getting started, you don't want to be making batches that are larger than 4 pounds. So you want to get your bowls. Another thing that you're going to want to spend very inexpensively on are your spatulas, right? You are going to want a ton of spatulas. Spatulas are what you're going to use for mixing. It's also what you're going to be using for scraping and ensuring that you get everything out of it. You need something? Okay. And ensuring that you get everything out of the bowl. So you are going to need your mixing utensils. One of the magic wands of soap makers is a stick blender, right? So this stick blender is what you use in order to mix up your lye, your oils, and your butters. So you're going to want to get one. You can get them pretty inexpensively. I've seen them for as low as $11. Now, if you pay $11 for something, don't think that you're going to have it forever. But again, when you're getting started, it's to make sure that you are going through the mechanics and the process of it. So that's your mixing stuff. You have your bowl, your spatulas, your stick blender. You also are going to need like some kind of a pitcher for measuring out your lye solutions, right? So typically, I will measure the lye in a glass container, and then the water will be in a plastic pitcher. The way you know if your pitcher is safe for the lye solution is if it's microwave safe. Because if it can withstand the temperatures of a microwave, it can probably withstand the temperatures of a lye. Now, you never want to mix the lye solution in a glass container because what that'll do, oh, Paige, what are you typing on everything? I'm like, what is that? What that will do is if you use it in glass over time, that glass can etch and break. So you want to have a glass pitcher or a glass container if you want to just measure the lye, but when you're making the lye solution with the water, you want to have a plastic pitcher. So that's your baseline. So people will say, well, how much does it typically cost to get started? $1, maybe about $4, $10, $15. So you might be at about $22 just for this here. Okay. Now, one other thing that you're going to need is a kitchen scale. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that you get this one until you know for sure that that's what you want to do.
My from being under the table and standing on the chair to seeing
It went down.
her
Almost running the
almost
company.
running.
Almost running the company. Yeah, she's almost there. Almost running it. So, all right. So that's your mixing stuff. But now let's talk about your baseline ingredients and how you're going to get those ingredients. There are a couple of things that you're going to need, but nothing is more important in your soap studio than your scale and your thermometer. The scale is going to make sure that you are getting the exact amount of the recipe. So for every ingredient that you're using, soap making is part art and part science. I always say that, and most soap makers will tell you that. The science part is very specific because you're not trying to burn anybody's butt off. Do you want soap burning your butt, Paige? I'm guessing that's a no. So in order to ensure that you want to make sure that you're doing accurate measurements with all of your ingredients. And that comes down to your kitchen scales. This is a really small kitchen scale. I use this when I'm teaching workshops at the schools in the senior centers. Now, you want it to be able to measure in both grams and ounces, and most of them will measure up to about 14 pounds, which is plenty when you're getting started. As you start to expand in what it is that you're doing, you may want to invest in one of these. This is I guess it's the Soap Maker Natural. I've gotten about 4 or 5 of these. They come with a little shield. It's the KD 8000. And the reason why is there is a plug on here. And this plug will make sure that it doesn't cut off midway through, or your batteries don't die midway through as you are measuring out your lye or your oil. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have a reliable kitchen scale. But again, in getting started, you don't have to go and spend $55 for the larger kitchen scale. Spend $10. So now you are up to $25, $35. Okay, my math is a little sketchy. Don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to it. Hello there, Tammy, long time. And then again, the stick blender. You have to have the stick blender. Streaming era. Oh, that might be Twitter gave us an error, but that's okay. So I think we have, something hit you?
No.
What?
My hair got tied to my face.
Oh, I hate that. All right. So you have your bowls, your pitcher. Now let's talk about the ingredients for getting started. There are
A lot of steps.
there are a lot of steps, and there are a lot of oils and butters that you can use. And if you are a person that's been making soap for quite some time, you might be falling all over the place at the price of olive oil. I used to be able to get these really large containers of olive oil for $18.99. That same container today is about $39. So again, understanding your ingredients and what they're offering to the soap is really important, because if you're doing it for a business, you may need to adjust your recipes or make sure that you're increasing your pricing so that it remains profitable. But the 3 ingredients that everybody will recommend, and I am one of them as well, are olive oil, coconut oil, and palm oil. You can get all 3. That's the survey. Why are you showing? That's for when I'm in class.
Oh.
That's not for here.
Sorry.
Olive oil, coconut oil, and palm oil. And if you want to get yourself a butter, nothing wrong with getting yourself some shea butter. Those 3, if you get maybe about 2 pounds of each or 16 ounces of each, it's probably going to cost you another $20 to $25. So then you're at about 50, 70-ish. And then the last thing is going to be your lye. And I didn't necessarily mention a mold. So the lye is the sodium hydroxide. Comes in this. This is the caustic thing. This is the thing that most people that they're considering making soap, but they're nervous about this. And there's a reason to be nervous about that, because if it gets in your eyes, you could go blind. If it gets on your skin, it will burn. I have gotten several lye burns in my soaping days. But we always have a saying, and that is respect the lye and it will respect you. So if you understand that you always wear goggles, you always wear gloves, you don't willy-nilly just leave it hanging around, it becomes a whole lot easier for you to do what you need to do with that lye, and there is no lye left in the final batch of soap. And then I didn't mention a mold, but I am going to just pull one up because this one is a really small one. Don't go get these really large wooden molds that can hold 15, 30, 40 pounds of soap. Start with something that can hold about 2 pounds of soap. And the reason for that is some of your recipes will fail. Some of them you're not going to understand what happened and why it happened. Oh, I forgot one. I need the thermometer. Thermometer is also important. Sorry, Paige. So get yourself a 2-pound silicone mold. You can get these on Amazon for $9, $10, or you can use anything around your home. Just line it with a plastic bag. Don't pour soap batter directly into a wooden mold because it's just going to stick to the side. All right, watch it for 1 second, Paige. So for example, when I teach at the workshops, these are the little itty bitty molds that we have available for people to purchase. Now, this one is still sitting here because the top broke, but you can get these right off of Amazon, right here. It comes in a little wooden mold. There's a little silicone piece, so it's easy to clean, easy to get your soap batter out. And then there's also a top on there as well. So if we're looking at this and you're I didn't mention colorant or fragrance. I don't want you dealing with any of that when you are getting started because you want to make sure that the process is working the way you need it to before you start introducing additional variables. Well, it's like, hey, I want it to smell so fresh and so clean. Even if you want it to smell so fresh and so clean, how do you know that you are making the soap correctly if you start adding other things? So start with your base oils of olive oil, coconut oil, and palm oil. If you have to have a butter, definitely go with the shea butter. Then get yourself some lye. Molly's Soap and Basket Supplies here in Philadelphia does sell lye. The other place where I get all of my lye is Essential Depot. All of that is down there. You can go on Amazon to get yourself the scale, the thermometer, and the stick blender. I will put under the video a shopping list for all of these things. So if you are joining me for the Introduction to Soap Making class, it'll be right there. So you can get that as well. Your spatulas, I will include that on the shopping list. However, why are you putting that up?
I'm going to show them the answer.
Oh, okay. She's going to show you my survey, but let me just make sure they know what to get for the class page. You want to get at least 2 bowls. This one, I don't know how large this is. I'll have to measure it. But a typical measuring bowl, this is what's inside of the dollar store. Then you have your spatulas, and then you also have a pitcher. And then, of course, on the shopping list will be the new Soap Makers Cookbook series as well as the mold. This is all you need when you are first getting started. I know it can be overwhelming because there's a ton of oils that you can get. There's a ton of molds. There's a ton of fragrances. But if you strip all of that out and you just start out with the basics of how is it that I make this soap, what is it that's going to give me the soap that I want, you will be in a really good place to expand without wasting a bunch of money and or time. So that is what I really wanted to cover for this one. This is going to be a weekly series, just walking you through what it takes to be proficient at making your soap. And we'll sprinkle in some things that I've learned along the way relative to starting a soap business. So I think I saw all of your comments. I don't know. I can't tell who's watching where. I can see there's some Facebook folks, some YouTube folks, but thank you all for being here. If you have any questions at all, no cocoa acids for me. That's so ever because I'm allergic. But I do love soap. What is cocoa acids? I've never heard of that, Brandon. Stop, don't do that, Paige.
Sorry.
I've never heard of that, but now I'm going to have to look it up. All right, everybody. I will see you all later. I just said stop doing that, and I saw the red again. Don't do it. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode of Live Soap School. If you are not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe on YouTube.
And hit the notification bell so you get notified every time my mom posts.
Yeah, and make sure you hit that notification bell, because then YouTube will let you know that, hey, she's actually live now, or I've posted a video. But thank you all so much. I will try to be consistent. That is the one thing that I need to do. I didn't get your message. Did you send it here or on Facebook or via text, Lorraine? It's like 100% cocoa that's located in soap in the ingredients. So are you referencing when somebody puts on the ingredients, it's probably the saponified version of coconut oil because it's going through the saponification process? Because sometimes it'll have the sodium hydroxide. It's like 100% cocoa. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but I will see. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. And if you have questions, let me know in either the Facebook video or on YouTube. But I'm looking forward to seeing you, and don't get overwhelmed. You can absolutely, positively do this with a very small investment. Bye, Sia. Is that Marcia? I think that's Marcia from Periscope. If so, hi, girl. What you got on here, Paige?
What?
All right, everybody. See you later.